Okay, now we start to load the ink to the printer. So if you printer with Epson i3200 printhead, then you need to load KCMY without, let's say, lead magenta, but with varnish and white. If you printer with Epson F1080 printhead, so you fill ink for all the ink tanker. KCMY, let's say, lead magenta, varnish and white, all must be loaded. For example, right now the printer we installed with Epson i3200 printhead, so we need to load KCMY, varnish and white. So we prepare the ink KCMY, varnish and white. The black, cyan, magenta, yellow, white, varnish, all for Epson 3200 printhead using. After we prepare the ink for each, and then we need to start to load ink. First, we set the saturation as this. And then we need to switch off the knob first. First time we load the ink, we must power off, close it. Then we start to load the ink. First black, we open the cover. And before we load the ink, they have a push button at the side here. 拿下来。They have a button here. Later we have button here. So this table machine we have button at inside here. There's a button here. So here is no ink. So the alarm sounds all are coming out with the light, with sound. But after we load ink, then the sound will be disappear. So first we just power off, and we start to load ink. First we load black. Then we load black ink first. We can put a paper at the bottom of the bottle to prevent the white ink leaking out. We fill about 2/3 of the total volume.
到完了。
可以，到完了。The volume of the tank is for 500 milliliter. After we fill, then we can install back the cover. Here we must pay attention. We cannot fasten it. We must load back a little bit to be sure the air can go through, go inside. Cannot be this way. This way is wrong. We must open a little bit. Is loosen it, and then we go to next one, cyan. Cyan. Then we install back the cover. Also loosen a little bit. Then magenta. Magenta. The next one, yellow. Yellow. Then white. Then we start to load the white ink for the printer. Because the white ink is easy to setting, and for a long-term delivery, it will be easy to setting. So before we load the white ink to the printer, we need to shake and separate it by hand. So first, we need to prepare the long screwdriver, clean tissue, and alcohol before we load the white ink. First, we shake it. We shake it first for white ink. This is only used for white ink. See? Then we open the cover. And then we use the long screwdriver. Use the alcohol to clean it first. Use the tissue to clean the dust. Then we shake by the screwdriver. Then we can load the white ink to the printer. Then we load the white ink to the printer. Please remember, first we must power off first. It's very important because we not load ink to the damper right now. So please must be switch off. Be sure that circulation pump is not working now. Power off. Then we load ink. Then we install back the cover. Not too tight, we must open a little bit. Then the last one is varnish. Varnish. The varnish, the bottle is 1 liter, so we just load a half. Then we install back the cover. Loosen. Be sure all the cover must be loosened. So this is a procedure to load ink to the ink tank for KCMY, white varnish, or let's say like magenta. So let's go back. Epson i3200 print head, we need to load KCMY, white and varnish. Epson F1080 print head, we need to load KCMY, let's say like magenta, white and varnish. And for white ink, we must shake and separate it by hand before we load the ink to the printer. After we load all the tank, then we can open the switch. Then we can see the lamp sound here. The white varnish the light is off because the ink is full. The light magenta, light cyan, because we not load ink, so it's alarm sounds and the light is on. Y, M, C, K all are off because we already have ink. So if the light is on, that means lack of ink. You need to refill ink to the tank. If the light is off, that means the ink is full. So please remember, after we load ink, then the light is off. So this is the ink detector light, ink light for the ink level sensor to let you load the ink, refill the ink to the carriage, to the ink tank immediately. So once the alarm sound is coming, we need to load ink to be sure all the light must be off for working.